y'all. Happy Ostara. Ostara? I pronounce all these pagan holidays differently every time I say them. But it's the celebration of the spring equinox. It celebrates the sun getting brighter throughout the day, longer throughout the day, and balancing with the night. And spring, rebirth, all of that good stuff. However, I woke up to a lovely package, which unfortunately I did buy from Amazon, but you win some and you lose some, and now I feel bad. But hang on. It wasn't supposed to come till Wednesday or Thursday, but it came today, so it's like the universe knew that I wanted to do this to celebrate. First, I got a bunch of... Let's see if I can show you this. I got a bunch of, like, glasses and droppers. And then I got a bunch of herbs. I will actually link this down below, because all of this, the whole thing, was only, like, $11. And I read the reviews, and everybody's like, they're really good, they're really real. Look, another thingy. And it's a bunch of herbs that I can't collect over here in the Midwest. Except rose petals. I can collect those. And maybe jasmine, but like, wild jasmine doesn't grow near me. But yeah, I got all this, and my mom... No, I just dropped the jasmine. My mom went and bought me olive oil yesterday, so I can make all of my deities, specifically the Hellenic pantheon, their oils. Because I wanted to... There's a shop, I think it's called Moonlight and Sage. Her name's Anastasia. And she sells oils, and I bought her mermaid oil. It's back there on my mermaid altar. And it's delicious. Not in an edible way, but like it smells great, and I love it. And I'm like, I'd love to support her more and buy more, and I definitely will. But until then, I'm making my own. And I'm really excited. And I just welcomed, I had to start and redo his altar, but I just welcomed Apollo back. Not back. Why did I say back? I just welcomed Apollo into my space, and I'm redoing their altar today. And I can make them a little oil, along with Aphrodite and Eris, and then I can make Lilith an oil. Lilith isn't part of the Greek pantheon, but she gets an oil too. I can make Hades and Persephone oil. I'm so excited. This is what I'm going to spend my day doing, and I will film it. Where am I going to do this? Because I might spill olive oil everywhere. I'll probably do it in my bathroom, just in case. But yeah, let me get everything set up, and then I'll show you, I guess. I will also either tag her on the screen or link her TikTok down below, but I'm taking a lot of the inspiration from a creator on TikTok. Oh my God, what was her name? But she is Hellenic pagan too, and she makes oils in her shop for a living. So she gave me the idea to buy these. Okay, this took me like an hour to do all these herbal associations and write down everything. But I'm finally ready. I'm going to sound cleanse this because I can't bring smoke / incense into my bathroom. I'm doing Aphrodite's first. Okay, I had to have my mother help. I'm specifically using olive oil because that's what they used a lot in ancient Greece. Hopefully that's not too much. And then I'm also putting a little bit of rubbing alcohol in there just so it doesn't mold. Hopefully that's enough. Puts more anyways. Okay. I figured it out. I'm not going to use the funnel except for the oil. Ooh, I'll put that jasmine in next. This would be a lot better if I had essential oils of some kind, but I don't. Is this not fit in there? It's gonna have to break. That's fine. Oh my god, it looks so pretty. And then I'm going to write the Venus symbol on it. Let me go get a marker really quick so I can show you what that looks like. This would definitely smell better if there was like essential oils in this. So I'm probably going to buy some and then just put a couple drops in later. But for now, it's so beautiful. That's the symbol of Venus, by the way. Venus is her Roman counterpart. Aries is next, and he's kind of hard to get herbal associations for because he doesn't really have any. So I chose some based upon his like traits. So courage, overcoming obstacles, and then a couple of these are ruled by Mars, which is the planet he rules over. So yeah, there's only 3. Aphrodite has the most herbs, I'm not going to lie to you. I also cleanse everything before. I do it solely because out of respect for them, and also it's known in Greek mythology that you should do that, because like, I don't want to say humans are dirty, but to gods we kind of are. Also came to the conclusion the herbs were just sticking to the oil in there, so we're just going to put it in by hand. But I get to do this instead, so. Also, there's probably some spare rosemary in here, but that's fine because like Aries and Aphrodite are known to be together. I worship them together. Their altars together. Basil. Let's see if I can get this in here. Oh boy. I'll clean it up. Nobody uses basil in my household anyways but me. I almost forgot the little rubbing alcohol. That was almost too much oil. This one's for Lilith. She's not a Greek goddess, but I am going to use olive oil still. She's actually, there's a couple different lores of Lilith because people are like, oh, she's a Mesopotamian goddess, and other people would say she's a Jewish goddess because in Jewish, I don't want to say mythology because that seems disrespectful, but like their ancient text essentially names her as the first wife of Adam instead of Eve. And she was made of the same matter as Adam. And then when he was like, you have to lay beneath me, you have to be submissive to me in life, in bed and everything, she's like, no, because we're made of the same matter, why would I do that? They didn't like that, so she fled the Garden of Eden, and essentially the god, like, you have to come back. She's like, no. He's like, fine, I'll kill every single one of your children until you do. She still didn't come back, and God essentially made Eve from Adam's rib, so now they're not made of the same matter, which is why, at least in Christianity, women were supposed to be submissive to men. I don't fuck with that. and neither did Lilith, which is why I worship her. And now she's known as the mother / queen of all demons. That took a big jump for some people, I'm sure. And she's a symbol for feminine empowerment in general, even though I'm not a woman, I'm non-binary. I still worship her as such because I love her. And she's one of the first goddesses I ever worshipped, actually. Started worshiping her in 2021, before I even worshipped Aphrodite and Ares, and then Aphrodite and Ares showed up to me, and I started working with them, and then actually Lilith showed up to me a couple weeks ago for the first time ever, and it was very exciting, very happy. Good milestone. This rose petal's actually from her altar. I'm going to put it in there. Anyways, let me stop rambling about her story and start with this thing. This is what I'm using. I have some, oh look, it's sinking. How fun. I had lavender on her altar, so I'm going to put some in here just as like a devotional act. Because she's also a goddess that rules over dreams and nightmares. And I have chronic nightmares, so might as well. Two rosebuds. Got them. Hopefully I didn't use too much oil because I still have jasmine to put in. Okay, that was just perfect enough. I'm pretty sure Apollo has more herbal associations right now than Aphrodite. So let me get started. Apollo is I should have been telling you the stories of all of them like I did Lilith. Anyways, Apollo is the Greek god of the sun. He has a twin sister named Artemis, and she is the Greek god of, like, is it wildlife and, like, hunting, essentially? I'm going to pour, like, 3/4 because there's a lot of herbs and it's going to make it go up. I almost learned that the hard way with Lilith's. And I also forgot the rubbing alcohol in Lilith, so I put that on off screen. Let me not forget that for Apollo. He rules over the sun, as I said. He rules over creativity, music, poetry, painting, the arts in general. He's known to work with a lot of his devotees who are queer in some way. So like non-binary, gay, bi, trans, any of that, you know. And I think that's just really beautiful, especially because the political climate going on right now with all of the anti-trans bills in the U.S. Very scary. But there's nothing that me, personally, I can do except spread awareness. So why don't you look that up if you didn't know? About 22 states have outlawed being trans somehow. How is that not against their constitutional right as a person? Anyways, sunflowers. Sunflower petals. Because duh. Also, I said earlier I was saving the lotus flower seeds for Apollo. That's wrong. It wasn't lotus flower. It was lemongrass. A couple different colors. Sunflowers. Come on. These are big flowers. Okay, let me not use these because I'm not going to be able to fit those in there. But I do have another version, which are these. This is going to be so beautiful and bright. I'm so excited. And one more for good measure. Ooh, maybe two. The birdies are out my window. My finger's stuck. I can put more in. Can put some more olive oil in there, just a little bit. I actually had to look up Apollo's symbol, because I don't know it. But look how beautiful. Okay, this one's for Hades and Persephone. I'm doing theirs together. Most of these herbs represent a deep spiritual, everlasting, immortal love. Makes sense, right? I wish I had like pomegranate seeds to put in here, because if you know the story of Hades and Persephone, there's a couple different stories. But Persephone is the Greek goddess of springtime and fertility, essentially, I think. I may be wrong about the fertility part, but she's a Greek goddess of spring. And she's also the Greek goddess, the queen of the dead, of the underworld. So, she's a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Duality? She's one of my favorite goddesses solely for her two counterparts that, like, they don't really make sense together, I guess, for some people. But I love that about her. And then the story of her is that Hades essentially kidnapped her and brought her to the underworld, and then her mother got extremely sad. Her mother is Demeter. She's the Greek goddess of harvest. Hang on. And when she gets extremely sad over the loss of her daughter, all the crops for humans started dying, and essentially we're going to go extinct, and all the other gods are like, okay, we can't let this happen. So they made a deal with Hades, but not before Persephone left the underworld. She ate pomegranates, and it allowed her to stay within the underworld during the winter time, and then she goes up to Mount Olympus to be with her mother during the springtime, which is why we have the changing of the seasons. And since it's actually springtime, Ostara, she's going back up to Mount Olympus right around now. Let me actually look something up really quick. Something inside me told me not to put these in there, and that's good because tulips are actually toxic. Surprise, surprise. So they get 2 herbs, essentially. And I'm going to go get some mint as well eventually to put in here, because that's another one of Hades' associations. Wow. I already looked this up, but let me just make sure, because I'm anxious. Okay, no. These aren't toxic to humans, pets, unless you're a horse, apparently. I might have to put the... Also, fun fact, Hades is not only the Greek god of the underworld, he's also one of the gods that represent wealth, because he's under the world. That's where we mine, like, gems, crystals, gold, silver. So he represents that too. Fred. Perfect. These are an old flower bouquet that I'm taking wow. I'm taking off of Aphrodite and Eris's altar. I'm drying them in dedication to Persephone and Demeter because Persephone left the underworld today because it's obviously the spring equinox and she goes back up to Mount Olympus with her mom. And I think I already told you this story, but I also redid my altar for Hades and my ancestors, so actually let me show you that.
I gotta get ready for that shining moment. I wouldn't go in there.